Okay, so this is Radical Red 4.0 Mono Psychic Run versus Lorelei. So this match wasn't too bad. I knew I had to take care of the rain, so I put Chilly Reception on the Slowking. Started off with that, and I set up a Reflect with the Xatu. Xatu wasn't that useful this run, mainly just a Reflect and Light Screener. Pretty much the entire game for me. So Screamtail comes in, starts setting up Calm Minds, because I know there's a lot of special attackers on this team. And then I bring Slowking back in with the dead Xatu, and I'm able to get a Yawn off on the Poliwrath because I live the Surging Strikes thanks to the Reflect. So Poliwrath takes me out, but it will be asleep next turn, so that is really good. And Screamtail gets +2 Calm Minds and is just absorbing those Scalds very easily. So now I send in the Malamar, who gets a superpower off on the Politoed, and I know I can survive one attack because I was at full HP and I knew I could just survive any one attack. So I get another superpower off because it misses the Hydro Pump, thankfully, and then Screamtail is able to weaken the Kyogre's Water Spout because I'm faster. So now Water Spout is barely doing anything, and I bring in my Choice Specs Oranguru, who has the Sage Power, so its Hyper Voices are doing a lot of damage. So I'm able to finish off both Kyogre and Iron Bundle with this duo, and now they bring in the Wake, who I know does a lot of protects. So no problem, just focus attacks on the Politoed, but he switches into Swampert, so I get really good damage on him. And since I'm Choice Specs, I can't use the Energy Ball, no worries, Hyper Voice will do more than enough damage. It finishes off Oranguru, but Screamtail survives because I have defensive investment. So now I have Trace Alakazam, so I could trace the Swift Swim, but it never even brought the Swampert in during rain, so I never really had to use that strategy, which I was planning on doing at some point. But pretty much Screamtail just soloed almost this entire team. All those Calm Minds allowed it to eat up those special water attacks, and Poliwrath was the biggest threat because it's just a strong physical attacker that I was able to put to sleep, so easy win there. So now it is time for my match against Bruno. So I lead with the Xatu, do an Esper Wing just to ensure that I outspeed after it lives with the Focus Sash. So now I'm at +2 speed, and I know I could outspeed its whole team. So I have the Light Clay, so I set up the Reflect, which is super good because most of his team are physical attackers. So the Zacian is obviously a threat. The Steel typing makes it neutral to my psychic attacks. So Mega Zam, I get lucky with 2 Focus Blasts hitting in a row, but after he Swords Dances up, yeah, he's an easy one-hit KO. So Oranguru has the natural bulk, so I know it could survive one hit, and I have a Choice Specs and decide to go for Thunderbolt. Now Komo-o completely walls the Thunder attack, so I switch into Slowking, who completely walls it. So I just decide to Yawn it up, and it goes for that Clangorous move, Clangorous Soul. And I get off a Sludge Bomb, which does barely anything, but it's okay because it's asleep. So another Sludge Bomb will take it out. So now it is Lucario coming in, and I just put that one to sleep myself because I know I could survive one hit. This overall putting things to sleep was super clutch because Slowking has the bulk, so it's always going to live one, and the Yawn does the dirty work for me. So it switches out from my superpower, and Iron Valiant totally walls it, but that's okay. Oranguru comes in for the sack, and now I can switch in Screamtail, who is free to just start doing Calm Mind and Wishing Up to ensure I stay at high health. So even with a crit, I think I'm fine after a couple Calm Minds. Screamtail is just the MVP of the whole match. Very psychic, great typing, and especially against Bruno, it is basically, it maybe can't solo, but once you get rid of the Steel types, it does the work. One hit KOs their Shifu. Now I know Lucario, if it wakes up, will probably kill it. So, but at least I got one free attack off. One hit KOs me with Meteor Mash, no worries. Malamar is pretty bulky himself, and the neutral attack doesn't take it out. So thankfully, I get the kill. Awesome. So now it is time for the toughest match in the entire playthrough, Agatha. Dark and Ghost types, were scary. I had to do a lot of resetting for this battle. It took me, I don't even remember how many tries. So the first thing that sucked was getting the right Solrock. If it wasn't the Dark Solrock, if it was the Hisuian, I never would have been able to run this strategy. So Superpower takes it down to its Sash, switching the Xatu while he switches into Goldango. I get up the one light screen, which is very important for this entire match. All the light screens I get, Light Clay also. Switching to Oranguru, who's the MVP of the match, to absorb all the Shadow Balls. Take out the Goldango because the light screen allows me to live his nasty plot make it rain. Now he goes into Qianpao, so I switch into my Fairy type. He absorbs it very nicely. I go for the rocks just to ensure that now that Solrock will be dead. He Shadow Balls and I Moonblast, and instead of just going for another Moonblast, I freaking wished like a dummy because I didn't even have Protect. So that was just a dumb play. Go into Xatu. He, for some reason, just doesn't Shadow Ball and instead uses Mystical Fire, so I'm able to set up one more light screen. Again, super important. So now the Marshadow comes in, and my Slowking gets a Sledge Run off, does nothing. So I yawn it because I'm able to luckily survive one hit. Shadow Sneak takes me out, but Marshadow's asleep, which is super important because Shadow Sneak might freaking kill my Mega Alakazam. So I can kill it with the Psychic. No problem, but thanks to Slowking's yawn, I was able to take him out. Now I know he's faster and is going to do the Shadow Ball, so I switch back into my normal type, and then he lives because of the light screen, so I Shadow Ball him myself, take him out. Fluttermane was a problem. Qianpao comes back in, and I think I just got to sack Oranguru, but he was MVP this battle, taking all those ghost attacks. Focus Blast thankfully hits, so with that, that's the biggest threat out of the way, and then now it's just Mega vs. Mega, Gen 1 Legends, and I guess Megazam is better. Sorry, Gengar, but tough match overall, but good win. Now I am facing off against Lance. So this battle, while not as hard as Agatha, was still tough because Focus Blast missed a bunch, so I had to reset. I know the taunt is coming, get the Scald off, switch into Xatu to Magic Bounce the Stealth Rocks back, and survive with my Focus Sash. Esper Wing it for the kill, and now I am faster than whatever comes in. So I set up a light screen just to handle Dialga's Roar Times and Flash Cans and stuff. Switch in the Zam, and I originally went for Focus Blast, but it's going to miss. So I go for Shadow Ball instead, get the second Focus Blast hit, which is very nice. Melmetal is gone. And now I do it again. I had to reset again because Focus Blast kept missing, so I resulted to just going for the Shadow Ball. He Roar Times me out. Slowking can take them, so I go for a Fire Blast, get a nice little burn for some chip damage. He sends me out again, so I'm thinking Malamar can take it out. This is Choice Banded. Doesn't even finish it. Roar Times me out again. Burn doesn't finish him off, and sadly Slowking is slower, so he gets his full HP back up. So he's sleep talking, flash canning, doing nothing. So I'm just fire blasting just to get as much damage as I can. Hopefully, whatever he Roar Times me out into is, can take it out. Oranguru, Shadow Ball, can't take it out. But he doesn't decide to heal. He Roar Times again, and now Megazam is faster and can finish it. It was very annoying, but I didn't do much damage. Stealth Rocks broke the multi-scale, but sadly Dazzling Gleam couldn't finish it off. So I switch into the Scream Tail and just go for the Moonblast because I outspeed. That was good. And now he has the Mega Mance, and he goes for a Dragon Dance. So now he outspeeds me on this one, and I just go for Encore as a Hail Mary, and he Dragon Dances again. So if he just attacked me, I don't know if he would have killed me. I'm guessing the computer knew it wouldn't, so that's why I went for the Dragon Dance. But thankfully I had the Encore just for that exact situation. Moonblast easily takes out Jugulis. So annoying match because of Focus Blast misses pretty much. So finally I am facing the champion, and this match was probably one of the easiest out of all the Elite Four. So I gave Xatu the Citrus Berry to ensure I survived the Triple Axle and bring it down to its Sash with the Esper Wing. Switch out to Slowking because I know it could take any of its hits. Close Combat does virtually nothing. I know it's going to U-turn out, and I get the Yawn off, which is super important because Yveltal was easily the biggest threat for this entire team. And now that I put it to sleep, my choice banded Malamar can start throwing around some superpowers. So because of the contrary boost from superpower, I get to 2-hit KO it. And because of that, I pretty much won the match. I'm not thinking I'll do much to it here, but thanks to a crit, and it's at +2, I do over half. Eternius takes me out, no biggie, because Megazam is faster, so a Psychic is easy cleanup right there. So overall, this run, Megazam might have been the MVP or Screamtail, but Megazam's just so fast and strong. Look at how much that Shadow Ball did. No boost at all. Even though it's frail, get one hit KO'd all the time, but it does so much damage, it's worth it. So Meteor Mash doesn't take out my Oranguru, but I'm Choice Specs, and I kill it with Thunderbolt. I switched the Shadow Ball because I was worried about Yveltal, so I put in Thunderbolt, but no worries. So now that he's locked in to my Oranguru with Psychic, I know Screamtail can just start setting up a bunch of Calm Minds. So like I said, Calm Mind, Screamtail, I don't know if that's the MVP or Megazam for the entire run, but those two Mons were just so useful. Once I got Screamtail near the end, I used it like almost all, like exclusively to just set up Calm Minds and Wishes and get the wins. And I never even used its ability. This is probably the first time the Protosynthesis ability even activated. So now I'm faster than Koraidon and Formiosa. So overall Psychic, great run. Really, really fun.